Witchers, welcome back to the Witcher Lorecast. This is your host, Tom, or Robots, and I am here, as usual, with my good buddy, Toasty, Witcher lore extraordinaire. Can I just call you that? Does that work?
That's fair, too. My
fair?
title changes every single time.
Every single time. You know, the world,
every single time.
Things are just evolving. We're constantly growing as individuals, you know? We're not stagnant on this stuff.
It's true.
It's true. This is the Witcher Lorecast. This is the podcast where we cover everything about The Witcher. Anything you would ever want to know about The Witcher, the games, the books, the TV show. And this episode is a very special episode because this last week we got what I believe is the final trailer, right, Toasty? This is the last one that we're getting for season 2.
I believe so.
I believe so as well. And Toasty has been, he's got his pin board behind him. He's got strings and twigs and connecting to little
at this point, the I found that the best material for stringing up things is the intestinal lining of a drowner.
A drowner?
Just very, yes.
Mm-hmm. And some leshen hair. Yes.
It seems to be the best for
Yep.
durability.
Yeah, but he's got his crazy man board behind him, tying together all the little bits and pieces that he can pull because he's the one doing most of the research on this. I've watched the trailer as well, but to his keen Witcher lore master eyes, he has found some things like this picture right here. And if you are not joining us for the live show, it is a different night than we normally do this because we had to delay it this week. Normally we are live on Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/robotsradio. It is currently Friday night at 7, almost 8 o'clock Eastern.
Yep.
PM. And
sorry, everyone. I got the opportunity to visit my dad for the first time, and I've seen him in like 2 years. So I was like, I got to jump on this opportunity before it like disappears. So
yeah, man,
that is the reason for the delay. But
family comes first. But we got to get back to Witcherin.
Witcherin.
Yeah, Witchin is different. But yeah, so here we are. And if you want to check out the trailer as we talk about it, it will be up on YouTube on the Witcher Lorecast YouTube channel. So you can always check that out as well. But if you just want to listen along, we will do the best we can to describe what we are seeing in the trailer. And of course, you can go look up the trailer again later after listening to the episode. So we will be going piece by piece through this trailer, revealing all of the nitty gritty, deep and dark secrets that we can. And stay tuned through the entire episode because there's some really good stuff at the end that it kind of exploded Toasty's mind earlier when he was messaging me in a frantic panic because his brain exploded.
Mm-hmm. I did get a headache from doing that, like honest to God.
Mm-hmm. It exploded and we had to put his brain back together. We used some magic. It's a good thing that, we knew some sorcerers and things. It was fine. It worked out. Mm-hmm. All right, so here we are, starting at the beginning of the season 2 final trailer.
Mm-hmm. So first we get Geralt. He's kind of walking in some water, and then I'm gonna pause here. He looks like he's squaring up against some flying monster of some sort. It's really far away, so I'm not entirely sure what that is, but it does look very humanish.
Yeah, it's a humanoid with big wings.
So I'm thinking, depending on how they decide to do things with like design and stuff, we already know the designs are different. I said maybe like a siren or something, just because like the water, we usually caught the sirens like in, like Skellige around the water and stuff. Okay. I honestly can't tell exactly what this is, but we'll find out. We'll be sure to find out whenever the show comes out.
You don't think this has something to do with some of the things we know about the first or second episode?
So this isn't the same location. I suppose it's a possibility. But I know we saw him fighting that the Bruxa in like the courtyard. Mm-hmm. And this is like kind of out in like a lake somewhere with like a forest there and some rocky cliffs.
He also doesn't have his swords on him.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. That's actually, I'll scroll back to the better here. Yeah, he's missing his sword and we just saw his hand move. So he's not holding it.
Right. Right. He is weaponless, almost like he got dropped in the water without his weapons or something. Almost like he's ready to parlay with the creature.
It is possible. Geralt doesn't always kill the monsters he comes across. Sometimes he's, they're not all evil. We know that for anyone that's played The Witcher 3. There's a lot of good monsters.
It's very true. It's very true. He might be in a situation where he's negotiating here.
Yeah. So, and then we kind of get here. I think this is about the same location. We can see that he's taken his potions. He's got all his effects going on with the black eyes and stuff. But this is overall is just a dramatic, face shot. And then we get this. I
think it's a reminder for people who've seen season 1 that like, oh yeah, Witchers take potions. They look kind of freaky when they do it. Yeah,
it's really cool though.
Yeah,
and then we get this kind of like a drone shot over just a battlefield full of like burning bodies. Just like a ton of burning corpses here.
Right. So this is like post humans empire battle kind of thing. Right. Kingdoms battling each other. This is what happens when empires clash.
Yeah, and we know this is we're in a time of war right now, Nilfgaard versus the Northern Kingdoms. So this could be the aftermath of one of those bigger battles. I have to believe that it's not Sodden because that one was specifically the mages versus. Although we did show, I think we saw King Foltest show up near the end of that with some troops. Well, so this could possibly be part of that we didn't see yet.
Maybe this is like the morning after. I mean, there's the remnants of fire. It looks like a lot of these bodies might be burned.
Oh, this could be post Yennefer chaos,
torching everybody.
Thing.
Yeah.
This is also possible. So we'll find out for sure. But as far as we can see, there's nothing to really symbolize that this is any location.
Yeah, but there is a lot of fire. So, but fire does happen in battle anyway. So it could be either. We don't really know.
Okay. Yeah. So this next part we see Geralt and Siri on the back of Roach approaching a manor estate of some sort in the snow. So I believe because of like the context clues we've gotten and stuff, this is probably Novellan's estate because we know he fights in the courtyard in the snow. So this is probably that, them coming up on it for the first time.
Okay. And a reminder, Novellan is,
he is this cursed individual who, looks like a beast with big tusks and
he's the beast guy.
He's the beast guy.
Right. Okay.
It's not a whole lot of description for him yet, to be honest.
So do you think it's more likely that that's this manor or that this is the Bruxa location?
So this is the same location. So in the story with Novellan, it's a really Beauty and the Beast story where he like he basically is a beast. He lives in a manor out in the middle of nowhere.
So by the way, spoilers. This is a lore cast.
Spoilers. This is yeah. Spoilers for season 2. Weird to say that, right?
Right.
Anyways, but yes. So basically, a lot of people show up to his estate and try and pick the flowers because he has like really beautiful flowers growing in his garden, and he usually tries to scare them off. And after a while, he started making deals with like merchants or people that came along to the manor with like who had daughters, and he would basically say like, I'll give you a bunch of stuff if you bring your daughter here, and your daughter has to live with me for a year, because he's trying to break the curse, because it's like like falling in love breaks the curse kind of thing.
Right. I remember this now that you're laying it out. This is one of those stories that it didn't come back to me immediately, but yeah.
Yeah, it's very Beauty and the Beast. So,
right.
And here, the most recent girl that is with Novellan in the story turns out to be a Bruxa. So, this is the same location. At least I'm guessing so, just based on the snow. That's really the only clue I have here is the snow, because it's snowing in that other shot. So yeah. Yeah.
And from a filmographic standpoint, if that's the right word, it's lit very similarly. It looks like it's actually I don't know, directed and filmed in the same way that we see some of that other footage. So it's like the tone of the scene is very similar. So I think that there is some connection there.
All right. And this actually gets followed up here because we see Geralt in the same exact courtyard.
Yeah, like pause here. Like look at the tone of the shot. Look at the way the show is graded, is color graded. It's the same. Right, yeah. It's the same color grading. It looks like it's part of the same setting. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I'll leave that to you. I don't pay attention to those details. I look at like the clues of like what's there and whatnot. But that is fair. I mean, so yeah, we see him. He looks like he's injured. He's got like the wrapping on his leg.
That's true.
So this is probably pretty soon after the end of season 1, because we know that he's injured from his fight with the ghouls and he has the wrapping around his leg.
Right.
I have to assume that he's still injured, and this is probably the first place they come across together.
Yes. Like they pack up, they get on Roach, and they head off in order to, get on the road. And this is the first place they go. That would make a lot of sense.
Nope. And this is still a continuation. We're going to see him.
Yeah. Same courtyard.
Same courtyard. And he is being like sonic scream attacked by this little girl. And it looks like, I'm going to say this is Quinn. Although to be fair, this could just be their take on the sign of heliotrope, which is it's another protective sign. The only reason that I say Quinn is just because people don't really know about that second one as much. And in order to do that, you have to cross your arms. The sign is to cross your arms in the sign of heliotrope. Right. And he's not doing that. He's just holding up his arm and creating a shield out of it. So, but I think it looks like they're going to be, doing more signs this season, because we didn't see a whole lot of them last season. We just saw Ard, and that was Ard in like one instance of Axie. So, this will be fun and interesting.
I was excited about that too, because I was like, oh, that looks like we're getting more signs. Look at this. Because anybody who's played The Witcher 3, I mean, you're throwing signs all over the place if you're using them, which you probably should be, because those monsters are going to tear your health down. You need to be shielding yourself. You need to be using your signs.
Even if you're not doing sign builds, you still use sign.
Like, you still use them. Yeah, you got to slow monsters. You got to shield yourself. You got to hit things with fire. You got to push stuff around. They're like, you have to be using them. So then we go.
I'm just going to let this walk a little bit. So we see the feet of these two individuals. And then you get kind of a shot of what I need to go back to that actually. So this, I'm assuming, is Sintra, based on the architecture, because Sintra kind of has that really tall, rocky spire with the church looking like cathedral in front of it.
Yeah. So otherwise,
we saw this one in episode 1 whenever we see the sacking of Sintra.
Right. Otherwise, it's a very kind of spread out cityscape with kind of low, flat buildings and a very long wall, which could generally describe kind of any city.
And my other clue to that is the fact that if you see in the foreground here, we see this rock here and we see this giant crevice. And I think this is the site of when Siri escaped from Kair, when she screams and knocks that spire down and it like crumbles into the earth. I think that's what this is right here.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is hey, check this out. This thing's still here. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get a little bit further and we get an over the top shot of these people with, kind of looking into this crevice. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure who these people are.
Right. There's the person on the left has what seems like short brown hair and brown robes. And the person on the right has long, what looks like black hair and black robes.
Yeah. But I don't even think you can see him. It's a hood.
Is it a hood?
A hood on. Okay. Yeah. So you can't even like really tell what they're wearing.
Yeah.
And honestly, the only thing I've seen this closest is this dude kind of looks like he has Istrid's hair, the one in the brown, but Yeah, I think he's far too pale to be Istrid. Istrid was more like a darker skin complexion. So,
elves?
I'm not sure. You can't tell if their ears are pointed or not based on the direction. So I guess we'll find out.
I mean, they don't look like soldiers. They're wearing robes. They're coming at the gap in the ground not from the city side, from the other side.
I'm wondering what's it. He's got a little case. The one in the black has a little case of something. I'm curious if that'll be important at all. And
it's hard even to tell gender at this distance with the robes on. Like it's very difficult.
Yeah, the only basis I have, just the hair on this, the person in the brown suggests male.
It's very short. Yeah.
I'm not an expert on like more medieval shoe styles, but I think that the shoes were more male designed on both of them. Okay. So, but I honestly don't know.
Yeah. But then again, a female soldier would wear clothing that looks more male like. So you never can really tell. So, interesting.
We get to this little scene here of the medallion tree, which we have been teased about as a thing. Mm-hmm. And this is very specific to the show. This is not something that's in any other Witcher media, except for the anime, but we know that that's like the Witcher cinematic universe. So
yes.
You can't tell while it's not moving, but the tree is cracking from the bottom.
Yeah.
So there's like little crack marks and they're running up the side here and they get even more. And I'm wondering at this point if this tree is still like a living tree or if it's a petrified tree. Because the sound that it generates is like kind of sounds more like a tree branch cracking.
Right.
But the way it cracks and it's got like a little like shattering to it, it seems more
dust,
rocky.
Yeah, there's dust like dusty, coming out of it. So, right.
So something's going down in Kaer Morhen where this is happening. We're not sure what, but we know based on some other shots we've seen that there's something going down inside Kaer Morhen that they have to deal with because we know that they run into some trouble. We're just not sure what it is at this point.
Yeah. All right. So now we've got Geralt.
Yep.
And
big pause here.
Tusk guy,
also known as Novellan.
I love the design of his face. It's so goofy, dude. It's so good.
He's so goofy.
He's got like the biggest eyes.
He's supposed to be like this dude with this giant like bear head with this terrifying maw full of razor sharp teeth.
Well, if he was to open up his mouth and try to bite you, you definitely wouldn't want that to happen. Yeah, but at the same time,
terrifying, and I am not scared of this.
He's so cute. He's such a cutie pie.
I just want to give him a hug.
Right, well, if you saw this guy in the forest and he was running at you like snarling, you would say, "Oh my God, he's terrifying." But if he's just sitting there on a chair, drinking out of his mug in front of the fireplace, telling you stories, he's like adorable. He's even got little ears, like you can tell. He's got little ears poking out of like the top of his head, like little bear ears. Like he's kind of like a teddy bear, like. Pig
with tusks.
Guy.
Yeah, he's a teddy bear pig.
Yeah.
So this is Novellan. And we will definitely learn. I won't tell you anything else. We'll definitely learn more about him when the season drops. And I just want to give a little bit of a reference to this line that Geralt delivers right before this. He says, "I've lived through 3 supposed end of days. It's all horse shit."
Yes, I love that. Right. Yeah.
Like, so he's lived through 3 apocalypses and they haven't happened. Everything's still going. Yeah. So why should he believe in this next one?
Yeah. The consummate skeptic just kind of, yeah, I love that.
And we know that Geralt always scoffs in the face of destiny, even if he's always running towards it. We know that he never believes in it, even though he runs towards it at all times.
Right. His eyes, just the way he's looking at him from the side of his face, so good. All right,
so good.
So this is the entourage. Oh, so okay, we go to the floating at the city.
I'm trying to get that.
Yeah.
That is hard to capture. It's a very quick frame.
Right. The Netflix
I'm just
series.
going to leave it here. I'll leave that there.
Right. And we're looking down at a city on what looks like a river.
A river that goes out towards maybe the coast or something. It's hard to tell. It's definitely a river, and it's got like a walled city.
With a bridge, which might be the delineation between where the river ends and the coastline begins.
Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure where this is.
Is that Novigrad?
It's possible.
That could be Novigrad.
It's a huge city.
Yeah, and Novigrad would sit
it's
looking
on like
north at
water.
Novigrad. It would look like that.
Yeah, and we know it's on the water. A lot of sail out of it and stuff. So this is a possibility. We haven't yet gone to Novigrad. Did we?
I'm trying to think of what other cities would look like this.
I mean, that's probably the most famous city too. Like Novigrad, it looks huge.
Right.
It looks gigantic, and we know Novigrad is like the biggest city. It possibly maybe like it could also be Oxenfurt. We know that Geralt. Well, I know.
Oxenfurt is on the river.
Yeah, and Geralt has his run-in with Ryance at one point in Oxenfurt.
Right.
And we know that Ryance is going to be this season.
Isn't Oxenfurt at an intersection of two rivers? Like there's a fork?
Possibly.
I'm just pulling this out of the back of my memory. But maybe, I mean, this extends further out. We like the city gets cut off here. So there could be a fork.
There is a bridge. There is a bridge. We do know there's like a big bridge going into Oxenfurt. It looks like there's water that converges on either side. This could be what this is. Yeah. Possibly. So it might be.
Maybe.
Based on the angle of the picture I'm looking at, it does look like it could be like the angle that we come in from works for this picture. So that is a possibility.
And the sun appears to be rising. I would assume that this is dawn. And so we're not looking north. We must be looking
towards the east, right? Because the sun's rising.
Right. So this can't be Novigrad.
Okay. So it was probably
must be Oxenfurt,
based on.
Yeah. Ben of Temeria says Oxenfurt in chat. Yeah. I think maybe that you guys might be right.
It took me a moment to think of that, and I was like, oh yeah, Ryance is in this. And but yeah, we'll find out about that one for sure too. And then we see a scene that we've seen already. Yeah. In a previous trailer that we broke down with our good friend Ben of Temeria. And I'm just going to go a little bit forward.
Oh, now we actually
were right.
See, yeah. Okay.
We were right. These are elves. We can see the ears much better at this point.
This is the entourage, just for people listening. This is the entourage of people walking through a forest with a cart and some horses. And
we can see Yennefer and Fringilla right here among a bunch of elves.
And they're bound.
Yes, they are chained together, actually. They're handcuffed together from the looks of it.
They're good buddies now.
We'll see about that.
They're
working on it. They're working on it. But yeah, we can definitely see, some individuals here at the front. Harder to notice, but my eyes immediately come to this guy that's wearing like this armor with a bow, and his ears are very prominently sticking out here.
So, and scale mail, which is cool.
Yeah, so I have to assume that this is the Scoia'tael, because they should be coming up in this season as well, and we have to find a link to Francesca somehow.
And some of the outfits in this are very reminiscent of the Scoia'tael in the Witcher games, which is cool, kind of a cool inspiration, kind of callback. So
yeah, I want to. Cool. I don't know what this lady in the background's carrying, but it looks gigantic. I want to know. That's the one thing. I'm looking at this and I'm like, what is this?
Right.
I must know.
Right. Also, props to the diversity of cast again, because the elves aren't a bunch of pale white people walking around with pointy ears. So good on them.
Yes, they definitely keep to diversity of cast here, which is much appreciated. So we got that right. We saw hands in a cage for a second.
I think those must be who's in the cart.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably some sort of like war prisoners or something of the sort. But we only saw just hands in a cage for a second. This next part, I have to assume is Aratuza. based on kind of the big building here on the foreground. Then we got this tall spire in the back with like the ocean behind it coming in between it. And we know Aratuza has that same appearance, but I double checked just to be sure. And I noticed that this circular kind of pavilion at the very top was not in the Aratuza of season 1. It was not part of it.
Aratuza, as a reminder, is the magical academy for
that Yennefer went to,
right? So that building wasn't there.
So that specifically the rounded part. It's the Aratuza in season 1 is very square across the top. Like it has all of this part, even the square parts that it sits on, but the circular part was not there. Unless we just didn't see it from the angle we were looking at, but it looks like it's the very top of it. So I don't see how that wouldn't happen. Like how we wouldn't be able to see that. Also,
we did jump around time periods. So I have to wonder if...
I mean, the Aratuza that we saw before was like hundreds of years in the past.
Right.
Like, so it is quite possible that they've just done some architectural redesigning, which would make sense.
Yeah.
It's just... I just noticed that detail when I was like, that wasn't there before, but it's there now.
Okay. But yeah, that would make sense this is a very formidable looking place. So
it's terrifying. Plus it's on like the edge of like a storming ocean. So it just makes it even more terrifying.
Right.
So then we get a fire finger.
Fire finger.
That's all we get. But we kind of
that screams like magic user.
Some background information here, which is hard to see. It's very blurry. I think I see the Warhammer 40K chandeliers though, so I'm not entirely sure. I think this is it's the biggest detail about these things is you see that chandelier and it's like, oh, that's Kaer Morhen, right? But so I think this may be like the Kaer Morhen laboratory. But this arm right here, so it's something that we see later on, but the armor looks very similar to a certain individual that we see later in this trailer who hasn't been revealed up until this point.
I mean, it looks like a male's hand. Doesn't look like a female hand.
And other parts of this trailer suggest that Ryance really likes to use fire. And this kind of looks like his armor on his arm. So I'm not entirely sure where this is.
It might still be Aratuza because that would make sense for, they show Aratuza, then they show a zoom in of somebody inside the building with a fire hand, that kind of thing. So
the next thing we get Yennefer and Josiah. Yennefer kind of looks like she's been like crying maybe. She looks very emotional in this scene. And it's hard to say what Josiah looks like because that just looks like the face that she normally has.
Yeah, that kind of stone
she may be concerned or something. I don't know.
Right.
And I'm not entirely sure where this is. Maybe Aratuza. This looks kind of like similar to how that spire looked on the outside. This little like kind of column to the side.
And it looks like there's a bath to her side. She also is, her shoulders are bare. So is she wearing just a low cut?
I think you can see kind of the little tiny bits of like, I think dress. I think she's wearing a low cut dress.
Right. Because she has a necklace on, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's clothed.
She always wears that necklace anyways, though.
Right.
That's her little obsidian star pendant thing. I think she's just wearing a dress.
And it looks like her hair is wet. That's the other thing is like, was she bathing and she just got out of the bath? Like what is going on there?
It's possible. So then we get back shot of Geralt
in the snow, probably back at the manor. Yep.
Yeah, he's at the manor and he's fighting this giant bat looking thing. And I wonder if I can pause on that one. Oh, that's so close.
And he does this like bend over, stab it from behind
him
kind of move. Ooh, that's a screenshot.
There we go. That's terrifying. So Bruxa, by the way, can turn into bat shapes. I don't know if you know this, but I think it's pretty evident now. So yeah, he's kind of got this. I guess he was doing like a wait and listen kind of thing where he's like, waiting to fight, and luring it in, and then going for kind of like a cool little stabbing thing, like duck and stab. So, and this thing looks absolutely terrifying, by the way.
Yeah, you don't want that thing chomping on your neck.
That's so good. I wonder if we'll get like an even like better look at it during that scene.
Yeah, big old choppy teeth, beady little eyes, big old bat ears.
Yeah, this looks really intimidating, intense, but it looks great. Like it looks so good, the design of it. So
yeah,
that'll be exciting.
So here's Siri and the whole like, I need to fight. It's my land. It's my fight. That whole
she said, yeah, thing. She specifically says it's my home, my fight.
Right. That's what it was.
And she looks like she's like, so this is where I think her training starts because she's still kind of like coming in from the travel. She's still wearing a little cloak thing. She's got a really fancy outfit on underneath because you see the sleeve here and it's very designed. So this is kind of like the very start of like when she first gets there, takes up like a wooden sword to start training. But I think the more of the impact of this part was that like Siri at some point in this season is like trying to take up responsibility for the stuff that's happened to her home. Like she doesn't want to just sit by. She wants to be active in this conflict, which that's impactful and good. So we go even more. So here we get a bunch of individuals kind of walking up to this fort.
It looks like an old church building with the roof burned out is what it looks like. If you've toured old stone buildings in like Europe, a lot of these old stone buildings and old cathedrals and churches had wooden or thatched roofs. And the stones that remain end up looking like these walls with like the ceilings gone. And so that's what that looks like.
Yeah, I should have probably done this. I didn't even think about like to check. I thought this kind of looked like the fort that they were in during the Battle of Sodden. I thought it kind of looked like, and if you see in the center here, there's like a little like pillar, kind of like a monument looking thing. Like it kind of looks like it's George Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. Yeah,
it's white stone compared to the gray stone of everything else around it. Yeah. So
this is definitely like way out of the hat, but I thought this might be like the memorial monument that was built after the battle on Sodden Hill to honor the wizards and sorcerers and sorceresses that died during the Battle of Sodden Hill. And this could be kind of like a new monument because it's obviously a very old building, but then we have this like kind of white stone, maybe like marble pillar, which is obviously like very new and clean looking. So it might just be the monument. And this is kind of, they talk about people celebrating Beltane, and basically whenever it's a Beltane coming to honor the monument and those who died during Beltane.
Gotcha. Also, so the pathway to it has been prepped with fires running along both sides.
Yeah, there's a very, very much a path here going up to it.
So somebody has prepped for their arrival.
And the other thing is, we can't see any faces, but it's hard to tell exactly who any of these people are. It doesn't look like anyone we've seen before, I don't think. Like the only hair that looks any kind of familiar is maybe this blonde lady, but I don't think that's Siri. I'm looking at just like the clothes and basing on the way he dressed, but maybe Stregobor up at the very front and the red cloak.
Right. But it looks like aristocracy or mages, people of some sort of wealth.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like poor people.
Yeah. So
and it's diverse. So they're not like of the same faction.
But I don't think I've seen any of like, these are possibilities, but I don't think they are. I don't think I've seen any of these people before, to be honest. Yeah. So
Ben of Temeria in chat says, looks like Loch Muin. What do you think about that?
Loch Muin. Oof.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, tell you what, while you look that up, now is a great time to take a take a quick little break and thank our patrons for being super awesome and talk about some new patrons who just signed up recently. So why don't we do that?
Very well. Let us get this over with. Something has infested my vineyard.
Great. Let me go prepare my something oil then.
All right, this is the part of the show where we get to thank our patrons for being so freaking amazing. Thank you to all of our patrons. You guys are the best, and you are what allows us to keep doing the show. So thank you so very, 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 very much. We also have some new patrons to thank. This includes, well, one new patron and one upgraded patron, because we have a new patron, Illyric, and we have an upgraded Lord Tizar, who are now both Leshen. So, man, we're surrounded by Leshen now, Toasty. How do you feel about that?
I always keep my oils and potions prepared, so I'm ready.
Okay, well, good.
I'm ready.
Good.
Ready if they start causing any trouble.
So that's four. That's four Leshen. One Leshen is enough trouble.
No, it's fine.
So Leshen are our tier 4 patrons. They're the ones who get to join us at the end of the month on our patron episodes. So Ben of Temeria,
now we have 4.
You are not going to be alone anymore on these episodes. You got us to ourselves for a little while, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit more of a crowded show at the end of this month. And if you're interested in joining, heck, we can fit as many of you guys would like to join us at the end of this month. It's going to be a fun month to talk about whatever is coming down the way, or whatever you guys want to discuss. And thank you to all of our patrons. We have currently 9 patrons. It keeps growing. And if we have done anything to help you get through your workday, your workout, your drive to work, or your tearing down of your Halloween decorations, and that is such a bummer, but we got to move on. Got to move on to the rest of the holidays. We've got 11 more months to go until Halloween again, which is obviously the best holiday because of monsters and things. We all agree with that, right? Best holiday, monsters and things. Anyway, but if we've helped you out, then go check out patreon.com/WitcherLoreCast and check out all the different tiers. And it starts with simple things like, tier 1 gets you ad-free episodes a day early, and then all the way up to the top tiers that get you to ability to join the show and all sorts of other stuff. So go check that out. And you know what? We don't have any new ratings or reviews to call out. So if you'd like to help us out, you can drop a new rating on Apple Podcasts. You don't have to listen to the show on Apple Podcasts to leave a rating and review. You just have to have an Apple account. And even if you don't have one of those, you can just sign up real quick and just go look us up, Witcher Lorecast. You can just Google it, Apple Podcasts, and drop us a rating or review. And if you leave some words in there, give us a 5-star review, we'll read it out in a future episode. And another great way to help us out is tell your friends about the show. If you're excited about watching the new season of The Witcher and you got some friends you're going to be talking to about it, then say, hey, you should go check out the podcast because they've been talking about this stuff. That would help us out a ton. So thank you to everybody who helps support the show. It's time to get back to the rest of the episode. So let's do it.
You smell of death and destiny, heroics and heartbreak.
It's onion.
Right, yeah.
It's onion. All right, Toasty. What do you think? Lockmaween? Probably not. Maybe not.
Just based on the fact that there's no events that happen at Lockmaween except for like more ancient events before the Witcher books or that of the Witcher 2. I doubt it, but they may be tying it in. It's a possibility. If that's the case, there's really nothing to like suggest. And it looked like Lockmaween, based on the pictures, is a lot larger. I don't think this is big enough to be that. So it could be a possibility, but like I'm not seeing. It's also a very like sacred place to elves. Yeah, and I'm not really seeing anybody in this that would. We can't see their ears.
Don't look like the elves from.
I don't think they're
compared
elves,
to the other picture of the elves. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think so.
Okay.
I get you. That's my guess is probably that's the one I got. I may be completely wrong, but we're basing it off of stuff we've technically never seen before. So
yeah, that's fine. All right. Well, let's move on. What's next?
What's next? Okay.
All right. Oof.
Cool little shot here with Siri, and then of course we know that this ginger individual is going to be playing Lambert. So this is Lambert, and so I have looked based on that other cool picture that we had up at the start. This Witcher is wearing a woven medallion. I think this is Eskel. So I thought when I first watched it, I was like breaking this down. I thought this might have been Cohen, but later on at the different shot, I see that he's wearing a wolf medallion. So it wouldn't be Cohen in that case. And he kind of has a scar on the side of his face that you can't see. I think this might be like Eskel, and they're just changing the appearance of the scar here.
Okay.
So,
yeah, it's a bald guy, and he's got. I mean, everybody in this picture is dressed warmly, but not necessarily armored. If anything, it's maybe leather that they're wearing, but that's...
Yeah, they're definitely dressed more for, I think, agility and probably distance. They probably took a long trek up this mountain, so...
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this looks like part of her training, like she's out walking with them.
Yeah, probably
working on
something. Maybe we'll see that Cyclops that they talk about. That'd be cool. And then we get a little scene here. It's Yennefer and Fringilla, and they look worse for wear.
They're still chained up.
Yes, they are still chained. Presumably, there's like kind of ropes and stuff, so they're kind of like bound probably to the spot that they're at right now.
Yeah, and it's nightfall. I would assume that this is maybe right before or right after the other scene where we see them marching through the forest.
Yeah, probably. I'm assuming this is well,
it could be after. They could be taking a break from that travel.
Yeah, it could, because it looks like they're traveling a long distance. They're probably having to stop at night, but it sounds like they're kind of Yennefer's trying to maybe like broaden Fringilla's horizons here, trying to get her to question the things she's being told.
Right. Right. Like you're a pawn. Stop doing other people's work for them. Think for yourself, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And we get the little side eye from Fringilla, like.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to take a while, and probably not even Fringilla's probably not going to change her mind about anything. But it is probably going to change a while. So we come back to what I'm thinking is Sintra, based on this kind of like rocky spire area. Yep. And we see, based on the images and stuff we're seeing Nilfgaardians riding out in their new armor. Yeah. So upgrade. Upgrade is very cool. Upgrade, definitely better than season 1. So they're galloping out, and based on, I guess, going here back to your call on the courtyard, based on the lighting here, I think this might be like the scene that's happening here. Like they're galloping out, and then Siri and Geralt are waiting. Siri looks very determined, like she's ready to face this. Geralt looks kind of worried. He's like, "Oh man."
So do you think they're back at Sintra?
I think so. Also, if you notice here, there's no sword on his back.
There is no sword on his back. Do you think this is before they travel? You think this is the beginning of their travel? Like this might be the very beginning of episode 1?
Maybe. He looks like he's already dealt with something here. Like he's got blood on his face. Right. His hair's all matted.
Her hair is still fancy braided. She's in the outfit that we see her in right at the beginning. Like this might be right after they meet each other and are trying to escape.
Possibly.
Looks like the new armor, Ben of Temeria says.
Yeah, it does look like the new armor. It doesn't look like the armor that he's had before.
This doesn't look like trained Witcher Siri. This looks like Princess Siri.
It might be, actually, because look at this. If you look at this fur, it's not that like fancy, like whitish and blackish fur that she was wearing before. This is like very brown. Her arms are free here. Like she was very bundled up before. Okay. Right here, she's got her arms are out and open. Like she's got maneuverability. She may be trained.
Okay.
And this could be a later journey after she trains at Kaer Morhen.
Right.
So,
but yeah, you're right. His sword is missing. This is probably
she looks determined. That's the thing that kind of gets me here too, is that she looks ready, which she doesn't really have that like kind of attitude before her training.
So, okay. Interesting.
Then we get a quick little glimpse of Nilfgaard something here. We got a Nilfgaardian in the background with armor. There's like the Nilfgaard flags up on the windows, and then Fringilla, who looks a lot better than she was before. She's got very dressed up. She's got her fancy robes, her hair's in
fancy
like
white
this
robes,
cool design.
Yeah.
So she's walking very purposefully, and then it cuts back to Fringilla, who is still like worn after the Battle of Sodden.
Right.
And she's talking about kind of like the, strength in our numbers. We're strong. We're an empire. Like, so she's kind of, it may be her retaliating against Yennefer here. Like Yennefer's trying to say like, don't be a pawn. And she's like, I'm not a pawn. I'm part of like this great empire.
Right.
So
right. And she's
I
got
think
a
we're
wound on her
definitely going
head
to see a lot of conflict between those two, but like socially, not,
Yep.
So then we get kind of cool shots here. A lot of these things are very quick. You barely catch it. It's very blurry in the background. This looks like Lambert, so I have to guess that this is probably the armory in Kaer Morhen.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Swords and axes and things all on pegboards.
Yeah, and then we
Spears.
get someone sharpening a sword.
Yep.
And then we get Sintra again, a very like cool over the top shot of the city. And it's like burned, like this whole swath. There's even some smoke still going up.
Yeah.
Like it's entirely burned. And we see like kind of flags and stuff. I'm guessing Nilfgaard is set up here. They probably just avoided like the burned areas because we know at the end of episode 1, it was on fire. Like it was very much on fire. So this is a part that I'm not entirely sure. I don't know who this is.
Yeah, it's a man in a corridor in the dark, standing in front of a light on a wall.
Very
with a sword
silhouetted.
Drawn. Yeah,
I got a sword drawn. I think that might be a Witcher medallion.
Okay,
just it's a very tiny little
very
speck.
Faint. Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure. Other than that, I would guess maybe, but I don't think he looks like anyone. He looks kind of, I think, like dark skinned.
It's hard to tell. He's very silhouette, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah. We haven't. There's no real like dark skinned individuals with long hair that we've seen yet. So I'm not entirely sure. And then dramatic Geralt walking in a corridor. He's got the silver sword out.
Yeah.
Oh man, there we go.
Oh, okay. Now we've
There we go.
Now we've
this is the big shot right here.
Okay.
So
let's describe it for our listeners.
Yeah, so we got an individual here. His hands are like burning. He just like lit them on fire. He's got like kind of like this like coat kind of thing.
Long
very
coat,
studded arms,
green
like
shirt,
studded as
yeah.
And then he's got long hair, and then his face is covered in these very wicked looking tattoos. And this, say hello to Ryots, Toms. This is right here. This is him. This is the guy.
You see this guy walk into a bar in a bad mood in order.
I'm leaving the bar.
Yeah, in order, 2 doubles, and you walk out. You go, nope.
No, I'm leaving the bar. This dude looks serious. So then we get after that, Geralt, he's being surrounded. And the thing is, I didn't notice this in the original watching, but, of course, breaking it down. You notice these sleeves right here? That looks very similar to Ryont's sleeves.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So this is probably when Geralt faces Ryont's and the Michelet brothers, which are a gang of like mercenary killers that Ryont's hires to basically help him take down Geralt.
Yeah, these are like lackeys all just kind of starting to surround him, pulling their swords out.
Yeah, they look like very serious lackeys, and it's no spoiler to say that Geralt absolutely bodies these guys because we actually see him doing so later on. Yeah, no, this is nothing. In the books, it's described as him moving so fast that the Michelet brothers can't even perceive him; they just die.
They just,
like Geralt's just
they just
going,
evaporate into blood speckles.
Basically. So yeah, so we see this. They're walking in. They look very serious. They look like they're trying. They're ready to mess Geralt up. Little do they know who they're actually facing.
Right. Right.
So, and then of course we see more Quinn usage.
Woo! Yeah, he just deflects a trident.
Yeah, which. I mean, props to this guy. He's wielding a trident. We don't see that very often. But yeah, he just deflects his trident and breaks it. Like one of these prongs just absolutely breaks off of this. And we can see that there's a dead person next to him already. But Geralt probably already killed this guy. This guy doesn't even know what he's getting himself into. So just intense. Geralt rolling over a table. I don't know.
With the camera following him through the roll, which is a really cool shot.
We know that the stunt scene, like the action scenes of this are really good. Like the fight in like the first episode is all one take. Like it's not cuts. They don't cut here. They're just like, they keep going. So the camera crew on this is just super talented. And I just want to scroll back to this part. It looks like Geralt is fighting Roots.
Yes.
Like he is fighting Roots. He's not like, this isn't part of the same like sequence of fighting with the Mitchell brothers. He's like fighting some Roots.
And he has a sword. So he was going from bare knuckle fighting with the lackeys to now having a sword in Kaer Morhen, because you can see the chandeliers.
Yeah. So this is, and there's like Roots kind of surrounding him. There's like this tree thing. So probably some sort of like weird Leshen thing.
Did a Leshen get into Kaer Morhen? Is that what's going on here? Is that what they're all up in arms about?
I think it might be a possibility because like we know that they're fighting something. It may be something to do with the medallion tree.
Yeah.
Because we know that we saw it cracking. Right. Maybe it came to life and started messing them up.
Or maybe the Leshen is like, we know they can control things in nature.
Yeah, so maybe the Leshen's assaulting it from the inside with the tree. That'd be really cool.
That'd be weird, yeah.
It's really interesting.
Oof.
So then, oh man, this little part right here.
Punches a dude, breaks somebody's knee, takes his sword, stabs him in the shoulder. Yeah, oh god.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So that's still the Mitchell brother fight. And like I said, it was no spoiler. As you can see, Geralt has no trouble messing. He's bare. He doesn't have a weapon. He's just taking theirs once he messes them up.
He just punches them and steals their weapons. He's like, screw you guys. Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. We get another little shot here. Two robed individuals. I didn't. They're looking up at the sky. There's some birds or whatever.
The purple one on the right appears to have very, very not broad shoulders. Seems very fair, like thin. So I'm guessing female.
This might be Siri.
And the one on the left has more broad shoulders.
A little tiny curl.
Yeah, so that might be Geralt and Siri kind of disguised.
I think this is also a female. I think
it might be. At first, I thought maybe. Maybe. But the shoulders seem bigger on that one.
Let me see.
But it's hard to tell because of the angle that they're standing at, right? Yeah, it might be Triss.
He still looks really short. Like Geralt would tower.
Right, that's true. Geralt would be.
Geralt would be way taller.
Right.
So she's obviously not very tall. And there's parts later on the trailer where Ciri's with Triss.
Right.
So maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. Oh! What's that? Who was that?
So quick.
All right. So here we go. Oh, I see pointy ears on this one.
So another little one frame shot of a new character. So yeah, we got, like Tom said, pointy ears. We got very like fair braided hair here. Very elaborate design.
Yeah. Kind of reddish, hair.
Reddish hair. Yeah. She's got like really nice clothes on, like this red tunic and red robe. She's got like,
it looks like fox fur, maybe fox fur.
Yeah. And then, like freckled face. She's got like these really like intense green eyes, obviously wearing contacts for this, because that is not a humanly made color right there. So this would be Francesca Findemeyer. So elven sorceress, very big part in the story to come. They're really cheeky with these, where they just show us these one frame shots.
It's more than one frame, but maybe 5. Like, it really isn't. It's like a do. It's like it's very, very quick.
Yeah, it's not even like a second you can get out of it. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah. So then we see Yennefer very distressed,
but no longer chained.
She's not chained to Fringilla anymore, but they're still with the elves. You can see them here,
and they're both in the scene.
And Fringilla's walking away. I'm assuming Fringilla just delivered something pretty fiery back at Yennefer, because she looks very upset, or maybe she's just stressed about things, which is entirely understandable. Don't know the context of the scene, but yeah. So then we get Siri running
in the same outfit she was with the other 2 Witchers.
Yeah, she's in the same outfit, right?
Right.
And this is, I think this is Siri running the trail. This is an exercise routine that the wolves do. They have this really long trail. It's very intense. They run it, which it involves more than just running. There's like kind of like parkour and stuff, a lot of like jumping and things. So it's a very intense workout, a starter workout for Witchers in training. So this is probably the start of it. She's training here. This looks, the places they go for these sets though, this looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like this location.
Cliff face walls and stones and rocks on the ground among like the mossy, path. It looks really cool. A little bit of a waterfall.
Yeah, but she's just running here. Then we get distressed Josiah. After I think this is a scene that's already been shown,
right?
In a different trailer. This is the aftermath of the Battle of Sodden. We still got the burning bodies in the background. She's distressed. This is probably right before the yelling of Yennefer, like the very intense Yennefer, like that we got.
It's
before.
That next morning. Yeah, I bet it smells real good too.
Oh man. Scary Geralt.
This is scary Geralt's face.
Terrifying right here. He's got the new armor though.
I know what I'm using for the thumbnail for this video. That face right there.
He's so scary.
I'm just clipping this right here. This is
clipping this
I just
right
clipped
now?
it.
Okay.
Right. I'm saving this. It is clipped right while we're doing the podcast. There we go. Save it.
Yeah. So this is Geralt, obviously very ready to fuck some people up, I think. And then we immediately see him doing that.
Oh, same face. Same exact face.
Same face. Yeah. Yep. He looks so good. He's fighting a Nilfgaard in the new armor. This dude's about to die.
Guess what, buddy? That new armor is not going to do you any good.
Yeah, it's really not. So this is the thing that I'm questioning what this scene is happening here, because we see another Nilfgaard in the background wearing the new armor. I assume this is Roach, and then I'm not sure who this is.
Yeah.
This is not Siri.
Woman in the background.
Dark hair.
When I first dark dress saw this, and I wasn't pausing it, I assumed it was Yennefer because of the dark hair.
The only person I can guess is Yennefer, unless it's someone new we haven't seen.
Like this is a later in the season episode, maybe when they're back together again. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
she's also holding
carrying
a stick. Right.
Like a really big stick.
Right.
Maybe defending herself somehow or something. I don't know.
Or maybe she's like, Geralt, just leave them alone. And he's like, no. And he's like,
I don't know. It's very...
you don't have to kill them. And he's like, yes, I do.
So we're back to the thing we saw before.
Yeah, the boys are back in town.
What we started with. So we got 5 Witchers here. All but one have their potions going. They got the black eyes with the veins. We know Ginger Boy here is Lambert. We got Vesemir right here standing in the middle with his biker mustache. This guy, and see what I mean with the scar on the side of his face?
Yeah.
Guy who I assume is Eskel.
Yeah.
Oh no, I messed up. I was trying to get his arm out of the way of the thing here.
Yeah.
So you can see that he's wearing
the medallion.
A Witcher medallion. Right. So he's not, I thought this was Cohen first, but then I saw this and I'm like, it can't be. So he's a witcher. He's got this. He must just not have his mutations going yet or something.
Or maybe he was the one who ran back to warn them, and then they prepared or something, and he just got back to the room or something like that. He wasn't with the other four. Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure who the two in the background are, but I think because I feel like Cohen has to be here.
There's a sixth one. Look behind Vesemir.
Yeah, that's Dandelion.
That's Dandelion in the back?
Look at him. Is that not Dandelion?
It might be. I mean, he's really blurry in the background.
Look at the hair. He's really blurry in the background. But look at that hair.
You think Dandelion's in the
hair?
scene?
I think that's Dandelion.
Oh man, that's hard. It's hard to tell.
That's why I said that in my notes. I said that because I didn't notice that, and I was like, very hard to see Dandelion. I caught you, you sneaky bastard. You sneaky bastard. But I would guess this guy on the left with the axe. He's holding an axe. It's not a sword. I think this might be Cohen. I just feel like he has to be here. And he kind of matches like the hairstyle, I think, of what Cohen looks like in the art. But if that's the case, and this is Cohen, then I don't know who this is on the right of Vesemir.
Maybe they're just like red shirts that have to die in the scene to make things feel dangerous.
Maybe, but as I've said before, this many Witchers are not supposed to be at Kaer Morhen, so that's the part that gets me.
Yeah, like, but they change things around a little bit, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be upset. It's just like, we don't know who these people are until they explain it at this point.
Yeah, it's probably just Gary the Witcher who just has to be the guy who dies to make it seem like
good old Gary.
Oh, Gary. Poor Gary. He died.
So next we see Istrid.
Istrid from season 1.
Istrid from season 1, Yennefer's ex-lover. He's casting some sort of spell here. He's got a little weird, like mirage-y, shimmery field here. As for the rest of it, I'm not entirely sure. He's like in a library or something. It looks like a very nice place. There's a marble bust with like a marble column here.
Yeah, the bust has a very fancy mustache.
Yeah, some candelabras. But other than that, we're not entirely sure where he would be at in this scene. So Francesca again. I didn't even catch that this was Francesca on the first. I was like, "Who is this?" And now I like paused. I see it for real.
Yeah.
She's there holding a torch, and
her hair is covering part of her ear, so it's hard to tell that she's an elf.
Yeah, but we saw it in before, and it's obviously very like close. Right. So then we get this here. We're seeing the back of people's heads. This Francesca with Fringilla, and then who I have to assume is Yennefer. And there's a house.
Yeah, we get like
turning to face them.
Yeah, we get like Evil Dead all of a sudden. We're like glowy windows in a house that's like moving around in the woods at night. Like what?
And I have no idea what this is, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. I don't remember anything from the books that involved a turning house. So.
Haunted house, moving around, floating.
But whatever.
Yeah, okay. Cool. All right.
So
Geralt again.
Then we get Geralt again, and he's saying, "Are you?" Well, let me see. I wrote down. Are you ready for? Are you sure you're ready for this?
He's saying, "Are you ready for some football?"
Yeah. And then we see intense Yennefer and Siri galloping on horseback. And this is where this is the outfit that I was referencing. You see this fur thing that's kind of like her arms are out. Yeah. She's more like prepared for stuff. It's just like to keep her warm. Right. And then of course Yennefer, she looks, way better than she did before. She's got her nice fancy clothes on again.
And she's wearing purple.
Yes, she's wearing purple. Then just a random flower regrowing. And then we get a nice look of Kair here.
Yeah, douche nozzle. Okay.
His new Nilfgaard armor as well, but he's still rocking the feathers on his head.
The plume.
Yes, the plume, his very identifiable plume, and he looks like he's talking with Fringilla here. But at Fringilla after she's, gotten dressed back up again. So
yeah.
And Stregobor and Burning Woman.
Is that a burning woman or is that like a summoned thing?
It might be some sort of summoned thing. I'm not sure, but it's on fire and it's like a woman or something. It's got a feminine form.
Right. Because it looks less like a woman being tortured and burned and more like a, like in the Elder Scrolls when you have like a, I have to change
flame atronach.
Yeah, a flame atronach. It looks like that. It looks like a like a flame spirit, or like a magic spell in the shape of a woman, like something like that.
So, oh man, these scenes so fast. So quick. So we got okay, never mind. That's not tattoos. That's scars.
It looks like scarring.
So we got Ryon's here. He's throwing a fireball. Same outfit and things. Mm-hmm. And then here we get the silhouette of comes into be Siri and Triss.
And Triss with a much more Triss-like outfit and hair.
And got the green dress on, and the hair is very long and curly.
Right.
So it's looking a lot more similar to Games Triss.
Yeah. She's a little bit more done up. She's a little bit more, she looked a little bit more plain in season 1. She looks a little bit more dressed up and, makeup, and her hair's a little bit more done, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and Siri looks very intense about something, but at this point, that's every scene that we've seen her.
Yeah, she's got like crazy eyes.
Yeah. So then we get Geralt talking to this woman. She's got like a shaved head, and like kind of this fancy golden flower thing, and it looks like his hand is bloody. I think this is Mother Ninika.
Okay, yeah, she's a little bit older and she has kind of a shaved head. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's giving words of wisdom to Geralt, which is something that Mother Ninika always did.
You don't get a name like Mother Ninika if you don't give away words of wisdom.
Yeah. And I'm really excited.
A gang leader.
Also true. But I'm really excited. She's one of my favorite characters from the books because she does not care. She's not scared to tell Geralt, like, to put him in his place. Like, she will tell Geralt how it is at any point, regardless of the situation. She does not care. And like, you always need that kind of person in your life, the one that'll tell you how it is.
Oh yeah.
So
everybody needs that.
So then we get more actiony shots. Yennefer was throwing something. We got the Witchers here fighting, this guy with the axe, the guy who I think might be Cohen now.
More Quinn.
And they're doing more Quinn. Yeah. There's debris flying, Siri with a waterfall background. And then a mirror kind of the scene that we saw with Josiah torturing Kair. Now we have Stregobor, I think, torturing Yennefer.
She looks like she's bound, and she doesn't look happy about it.
Yeah, she's bound. She's screaming in pain. I'm not 100% sure, but this beard just looks very Stregobor to me.
Yeah.
And we know that he's a bastard, so it would make sense.
Yeah.
And then Geralt intensely running through the forest, and bam.
There's the Leshy.
The money shot. There's our Leshy. There's like vine or branches coming out of the ground, and then he's like on this whole like mesh of like interwoven branches.
Yeah, it's like a torso. It's like a human torso made out of like Groot. It's like a Groot torso with like a bunch of roots coming out of the lower half that go into the ground and come back up as branches, like roots, like tentacle roots.
Yeah, this is super cool. This is super exciting. Obviously, we've been waiting for this, and then we get like intense vines coming. Geralt being a cool guy, just slashing those, defending Siri. Like they look like they're moving with like perfect teamwork too.
Yeah,
like they've been doing this. Like she's ducking when he needs her to duck. It's so good. More Geralt using Quinn in this next part.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I didn't notice this in the last one. I noticed it now. So we get the little zoom out of the Witcher shot, on the background, but the letters are turning and there's runes on the letters.
On the insides of the letter, like the sides of the letters and they're actually like, I don't know what the best way to phrase it is. Like the in cuts of the sides of the letters have runes.
Yeah. So, it's kind of hard to see. There's a part where they kind of like a point in this where they all light up, so it's easier to see all of them. And I'm just not going to waste anyone's time. I went back to the old trailer. This is the same exact runes were on the letters as these ones, and I translated them, and they didn't translate to Elvish. They translated to actual English words. Which is cheeky of the devs, or not devs. I'm saying devs because we talk about games. Right. Of the writer or whoever does this. Yeah. So it translates to this is probably a fragment or something. Ash lower shall grow where low-born blood shall owe.
Ash lower shall grow where low-born blood shall owe?
Shall owe. Yes.
Shall owe?
Yes. That is what I translated it to. That sounds, and that's like, that rhymes. Geralt says every good like prophecy has to rhyme. It rhymes. So part of Ithleen's prophecy, maybe. It sounds intense. Like that's daunting. That's a daunting little prophecy there.
Okay, so say it again. Ash lower
shall grow where low-born blood shall owe.
Okay, so lower ash shall grow. If we just rearrange the words a little bit.
Yes.
So let's reverse it. Where low. My God, I can't talk.
Low-born blood.
Okay, so where low-born blood owes, lower ash will grow. So
yes.
So someone of lower blood will owe something, and therefore lower ash will grow. So what is lower ash? Something that was burned will come.
Maybe like cremated body, like somebody dying.
Something that is burned, it will rise again.
Maybe
so somebody who is lowborn will owe something, and something that was burned will rise again. Yennefer, Rob the Princess in chat says Yennefer was lowborn.
Mm-hmm.
So Yennefer's gonna maybe have a debt.
Maybe.
Or ashen hair. Yeah, Ben of Temeria, ashen hair.
That's a good call. Ashen hair. So she'll grow. But maybe, like it says, ash lower shall grow. So she grows lower?
Ash lower shall grow.
Where lower blood shall owe.
Ash lower shall grow where? Ash lower shall grow.
It's a riddle. And
it's a riddle.
Riddles they always have to confuse it weird. But it sounds daunting. That was like my one thing. This was the thing I got super excited about because I saw those and I was translating it. And I was like, I'm probably not going to be able to do anything with this because it's probably going to be in like the elder speech and I'm not going to be able to translate all of them. And I was like, these are actual words though.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Wait.
That's really, really cool.
Wow. So yeah, so we got a little thing there.
Well, here's what I want. Here's what I want. I want our listeners to let us know what they think this means, because we can document this, right? So if you guys think you know what this means, then log into the Robots Radio Discord and post it in the Witcher Lorecast channel, because that will document it. Like if you come up with the answer for what this means and you post it in there, we will be able to go back and say like, hey, look at this date. I posted what this was. I got it right here. Like, this is me. I came up with it. So you can claim like if you figured it out before anyone else figured it out. So that's really cool. So let us know what you think. If we get some really good theories on what this is, we can call it out on the next episode or, a future episode. Yeah. Let us know what you think, because it's a riddle.
But let's finish this up, because this is like the longest episode we've ever done.
Yeah.
We're coming up pretty soon. So just a couple things after. So we get a broken lute. Obviously this means Dandelion. Who else is playing a lute? And then we see the man himself.
Yeah, Dandelion.
He looks like he's in a cell. He's got like, some food on a plate here, his little bathroom bucket. He's got a mouse in his hand. There's a mouse on top of this bucket. He looks like he's in a jail cell. He's not doing all right.
Yeah.
Geralt
talks,
asking for help.
Geralt looks very concerned in this picture.
He's very concerned, and Dandelion's like, "Fine, I'll help, but wait a second."
Yeah, he has to say goodbye to his mouse friends.
He bids farewell to the mice. Geralt's like, "Why are you talking to mice?"
He's like, right. We don't have the sound on this end, but he basically is like, don't be jealous that I made other friends, right?
Yeah, he's trying to taunt him because the last we saw of Dandelion and Geralt basically told him off, like told him how annoying he was and everything. And Dandelion was like, "Oh, okay, then I guess, we're not friends anymore." So, this is probably resuming right after this. So Geralt probably has an apology to make here too.
Yeah.
They just walk out. Then we get, bam, the end of the trailer. We end on that funny note after a very intense trailer. Ends on a little bit of a comic relief there with Dandelion. But
yeah, good old Dandelion.
Man, that
toss a coin
I
to
feel
your
exhausted
Witcher.
just going over that now.
Yeah,
Man.
it's a lot. They packed a bunch of stuff in here. And
So much stuff in there.
dude, it's so good. I'm so excited for this season.
Yeah, I'm very excited too. I obviously see a lot there, a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of stuff yet to be explained, that crazy prophecy. So this is going to be, I think that this season is going to be like way better than season 1.
Yeah. And chat was asking for us to post that verbatim, the riddle in Discord. So we'll post that in the Discord
right after this.
Yeah. So we'll post that in there. We can tweet it out too. I think we should go ahead and tweet it out too. And people can retweet at us what they think that actually means. We'll document it in both places for people. And we'll go ahead, because this episode is late, we'll go ahead and push this out as soon as I get it edited and out for everybody. And thank you everybody for tuning in. This has been a super awesome episode. Toasty, thank you for taking the time to go through all of this and tear it apart and put it back together. And
it was oh man. Yeah.
And we'll be back on Monday. We've got another episode coming up real soon. Yeah. So come hang out with us on Monday again. Chat, thank you for being here. Toasty, you have anything else going on? Anything you want to share?
Follow us on the Witcher Lorecast. I'm gonna go post that stuff on the Twitter. For anyone that wants to throw their guesses, tweet their guesses at us or throw them in the Discord. We go listen to Avatar Legends: Journey of the Elements, a Rocket Club show with the Fumbling 4 gang. I'm there playing a firebender, so if you want to get more of me playing a character, then that's where to get it. And
yeah, go get it.
That's about it, I think.
Yeah, well, go check that out. That's the Rocket Club, Robots Radio Rocket Club is a great place to go check out some new creators making some awesome new podcasts. So go listen to Toasty being a firebender. Toasty playing characters is always a good time. So you should go check that out.
Have you ever listened to me play a character?
I've heard about your exploits playing characters.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
I've heard and I've seen people react to it. So I need to tune in. I haven't, what I'm doing is I'm trying to work out more in the mornings before I do my morning streams, which are now on YouTube, by the way. So I'm going to start listening. I will have more time to listen to podcasts again because I will be doing my workouts, which I need to start doing more. And I went to go do them this week. Yesterday was my first one getting back in the swing of things. And I went to go put my little earphones in, my little wireless earbuds, but I didn't put them back in my cradle and they died. So I had to go do it without anything to listen to. But that would be a wonderful show for me to check out regularly now that I've got a solid block of time to start listening to podcasts regularly again, since I don't have a good commute. So I used to listen to podcasts all the time, and then I started making all the podcasts, and then I stopped listening to them all the time.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So now I just make them a bunch. But yeah, I've got my stuff going on. I'm streaming in the mornings during the week over on YouTube, on the Robots Radio YouTube channel. And I might actually do a little bit more streaming tonight. Toasty, are you game for playing some more Hunt? You want to do anything else? You still busy, or is it late for you?
It was a long time. That was a long thing. So I probably need to be going to bed soon because I work at 4 a.m. So.
Yeah, I figured.
Good thing we did it early because I would have been up until like 10:30 in that case. So
yeah. So that's good. Well, you have a good night, and maybe I'll be back in a little bit on the YouTube channel streaming games tonight. We'll see. I'm going to figure out what else is possibly going on tonight because we finished kind of early. So, but thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you on Monday. Until then, have a wonderful week. Stay safe and look out for any witchers, or not witchers, any Leshen. Don't look out for witchers. I mean, you can look out for witchers if you're a monster. If you're a monster, look out for witchers. If you're not a monster, look out for Leshen, I guess. All right. Well, either way. See you guys later.
Not your strongest one.
not my strongest one. Bye, everybody. See ya. Bye.
Stay safe on the path.
Thanks for tuning in to the Witcher Lorecast. We'd love to hear about your experiences with the games and the books and the TV series and all your thoughts on everything. Please check out the Robots Radio Discord and follow us on Twitter at Witcher Lorecast.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.